Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Christy. First, let me share my screen. Can everybody see it okay?
Yes, that looks great.
Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Shen, VP and Managing Director for Product Development and Implementation, PDI. So today, Mary Ankeny, she's a VP of PDI Operation, oversee all our operations. And she also heads up our textile chemistry research department. She has joined Cotton Incorporated for 26 years. So she has extensive knowledge and experience in cotton. So she and I will give you a quick overview of how PDI contribute to the Cotton Incorporated's mission, which is to increase the demand for and the profitability of cotton. So the main mission for PDI is to do textile R&D for the cotton industry. Our division is set up in a way it covers the entire textile supply chain. So at the beginning, we have fiber processing. So after you grow the cotton, it goes through the ginning. The fiber processing takes the fiber and spin into yarns. So in our lab, we have all three major production lines: ring spinning, open end, and air jet. So the team use those equipment to do spinning R&D. And then it goes to product development, in which we have a variety of circular knitting, flat knitting, and a few weaving equipment. So the team uses those equipment to develop innovative cotton fabrics. And then it goes to textile chemistry research, in which we have a variety of dyeing, finishing, printing, wet processing equipment, and a group of textile chemists. They use those equipment to develop sustainable and performance technologies for the industry. And then it goes to the technical service and the implementation, in which we have scaled up equipment so we can do our internal dyeing and finishing. At the same time, the team works with global mills to commercialize our technologies. Certainly, in addition to R&D, we also do a lot of other things, such as we maintain a strong network with the industry, and we do technical service across PDI for the entire cotton industry. And I hope one day you guys have an opportunity to visit our labs in Cary office. So the four departments works very closely together as one team to identify and research sustainable innovations in technology and products that can recover, grow, and preserve cotton market share, again, to help to increase the demand for and the profitability of cotton. So now let us give you some highlight of some of the works we are doing or have already done in different areas. Let's start with fiber processing. So you guys all know that contamination mitigation is very important for the cotton industry. So we are working with Ag Research, fiber competition to support that, mainly from two areas. From the left image is the first area. Our fiber processing lab, thank you for your financial support. We purchased the state-of-the-art tubular TST5 contamination removal equipment. So from the middle image, you can see that we can use that equipment to remove whether it's big or small plastic contaminations from cotton fibers. So that's kind of our final defense for the spinning mills to remove those contaminations. And then in the meantime, we can use that equipment to support contamination mitigation research, done by USDA, ginning industry, as well as universities. And the second area, from the right image, you can see that our TCR team has collected different types of plastic module wrap for extensive testing to develop a performance standard so that we can offer critical information to modify those, improve those materials, or potentially to develop, alternative materials one day. Now, I mentioned that we do across PDI customer service for the cotton industry. So here's one example. Now, you guys all know much better than us is that, one of the challenge for grow cotton is the weather, right? Because it's out of anyone's control. So because of that reason, last year, there were much more sea-coat cotton bales in certain areas than before. So that's why we did our sea-coat research to look into that thing. And so we obtained regular cotton bales as well as cotton bales with the sea-coat core. And we conducted a spinning evaluation research. So from that research, we found out that the skinniness of the sea-coat cotton is much higher than regular cotton. And we can still okay to manage the opening, cleaning to drawing. But when we reach it to the ring spinning operation, it generated actually 5 times more ends down. So this could be a big issue for the mill because it could potentially cause a mill shutdown. And from the yarn quality, we found out, it also has more naps and less evenness. But after the research, we give some recommendations for the spinning mills, mainly 3. First, we suggest them to mix those sea-coat bales in the laydown at a low percentage. And the second is that ask them to strategically select their end product, which means to use relatively coarse yarn. And then the third suggestion is to utilize other technologies. For example, for the dyeing, to use reactive dye so that it can potentially minimize the issue of white specks. We think combining all those 3 things can potentially mitigate the sea-coat bale issue. Now let's move to the PD area. Each year, our PD team develops hundreds of innovative fabrics to inspire brands and retailers to use more cotton fabric. So from this image, you can see that we not only develop physical fabric samples, those fabric hangers, but also delivered the technical specs so that we work very closely with our global supply chain marketing team. So when they reach out to brands and retailers, they use those fabric samples to inspire brands and retailers to use more cotton. And if a brand and retailers, they wanted to adopt those fabrics or modify those fabrics, those technical specs can offer them very easy ability for their mills to scale up their production or make any modifications. Now, we also use our fabric collection to emphasize our initiatives. So here's one example. We use our natural fabric collection to emphasize the initiative of sustainability. Now, later you will learn from Mary that one big advantage of cotton is that it's biodegradable, while polyester is not. So the polyester generates a lot of microfiber pollution issues. So our PD team develops potential solutions for consumers and industry to replace those plastic products. For example, on the left image, you can see the polyester fleece is very popular, but again, it has the pollution issues. So we developed a fabric such as a cotton wool. It's 100% natural, and also it has no microfiber pollution at all to replace those polyester fleece products. And from the right image, you can see this is what we call the minimum process fabric collections to promote sustainability by minimizing the use of chemicals, water, and energy. So the top image, you can see it's enzymatic scouring to replace traditional harsh chemical scouring. And the middle image, it's we use the natural color of the natural brown cotton so that we can eliminate the dyeing process. Now, certain market is challenging for cotton, such as the active wear market. So we are building demand through cotton innovation. So we developed this active apparel collection line. So from this slide, we used, a couple tactics. The first is that we use cotton incorporate technology. In this case, it's transdry, developed by our TCR team, so that to offer moisture management to the apparel line. And second tactic, we strategically blend a small percentage of synthetic to reduce the weight. And the third is that we used our design capability as well as engineered construction to make the apparel line looks pretty, right, to our consumers. So overall, that's our strategy, is combine not only performance but also aesthetic appearing to our customers, to our consumers, to help cotton expand into those challenge market. Here's another example, right? We are developing 3D knitted cotton shoe uppers to expand cotton into the footwear market, which is another highly competitive market. In this case, we are using the flat knitting so that we can reduce waste from sustainability point of view, and also to increase breathability, reduce weight, and incorporating zoning from performance point of view. Now, certainly the pandemic is a big impact for the entire human being life last year and this year. But in the meantime, it also created some opportunities for us. I think the virtual trend is for here to stay. So last year, we teamed up with our global supply chain marketing team to increase our capability in the virtual side. And actually, Cotton Incorporated was the very first fiber company to release our first virtual digital fabric collections through our CottonWorks website. And from now on, we will not only develop physical fabric collections, but also paired with our digital twin fabric collections through the CottonWorks website, so that the brands and retailers can get those fabrics right away through our website to promote digital workflows. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mary to share with you some other areas.
Thanks, Mike. And good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with you today. So again, I'm going to speak about textile chemistry research. And one of the things that we do is provide support to product development and fiber processing by developing dye formulations and procedures that add additional aesthetic interest to yarns and fabrics that they create. In some cases, the dye formulas and procedures are pretty straightforward, but in others, we really need to put on our creative hats to develop unique and interesting looks that will catch the eye of brands and show them what cotton can be. So in addition to our dyeing facilities, we also have machines for denim washing, finish application, and fabric printing. We also perform research into areas such as sustainability, finish development, process optimization, because folks are always changing the regulations on chemistry and they're always coming out with new products. So we want to optimize and make our finishes the best and the most economical that they can be. And we also look into new market development as well as safety. We invest in outside research to supplement our in-house research capabilities and to develop strong relationships with the cotton and textile research community. And so in the following slides, I'm going to expand on this work. Next. So a major focus of product development, implementation, and textile chemistry is sustainability. And textile chemistry focuses on the wet processing of cotton. Bleaching, dyeing, finishing uses a lot of inputs such as water, energy, and chemistry. And so part of what we do is work to reduce these inputs to optimize the process so they're efficient yet still effective and result in a quality product. And in doing this, we partner with chemical and machinery companies and have exposure to the best technology available. And sometimes new issues arise, like microplastic pollution. We're all aware of the large plastic garbage patches that are present in the oceans. And really what we see are the large macroplastics, the bottles and the nets and all of this waste that accumulates on the surface of the ocean. But those large plastics break down into smaller and smaller plastics. They just disintegrate over time. And they get down to a point where the plastic pieces are less than 5 millimeters, and that's called microplastic. And it's very difficult to see. It goes all the way through the different levels of the ocean. And we're not really sure what the health impacts are, but we know that, you know, it's a potentially huge problem. And 35% of those microplastics are microfibers. And these microfibers are shed from textiles through wash and wear, and they end up in our water systems. If they go through the wash, the wastewater can take out a lot of them, but not all of them. And it's still a huge problem. And so over the last, and so cotton is, you know, a textile fiber, and cotton does shed. Now cotton's a natural fiber, and we know that cotton breaks down in the soil, but we really needed to be able to show that cotton breaks down in all environmental systems. So for the last several years, we've been working with North Carolina State University and Cornell University to do just that. And so we're looking at soil, we're looking at compost, we're looking at water, and we're looking at landfill conditions. And so, but we know cotton, again, is a cellulosic material, and we've been able to show through our work that cotton degrades in all environments. On the left side of your screen, you can see cotton breaking down in soil. In the center, we show that cotton, even with dyes and finishes, will break down in water. And then we're on the right-hand side, we're showing how cotton is breaking down in landfill environments. And while cotton degrades, polyester does not. So, and the reason why cotton degrades is because there's microbes present in all environments that consider cellulose food. So, so that definitely works to our benefit. Next. Another approach towards sustainability is to find a way to create value from discarded cotton and cotton blended textiles. Around 11 million tons of textile waste is landfilled each year by the United States. And it would be great if we could figure out a way to capture that cotton textile waste and turn it into a valuable byproduct. A traditional way to recycle cotton textiles is either to cut them up and use them for shop rags, or shred them and use them in other products, such as our Blue Jeans Go Green program with our insulation. A new option that we've been working on here is to convert cotton, which is cellulose, back into its glucose building blocks. So taking cotton and turning it back to sugar. And then the sugar can be used to replace virgin material to make products such as ethanol or acids, and such as lactic acid. Next. Another area of focus is developing performance finishes. And performance could mean anything from wrinkle resistance, moisture management, or enhanced abrasion resistance. And we've been developing performance finishes for more than 20 years, and they work to make cotton more desirable, imparting features that cotton alone can't manage. For example, we've recently patented a new durable press technology called PUREPRESS technology. And while there is wrinkle resistance on the market, this will keep your garments wrinkle-free, but it'll add an enhanced level of strength and abrasion resistance. So you'll be less likely to see the abrasion on your collars and cuffs and pant legs as you would with traditional durable press. Plus, it's made from much more sustainable chemistry. And on the moisture management side, one of the finishes we've created is called Storm Cotton. And this finish is used to make outerwear and bottom weights water repellent. However, it still allows air to pass through, so the garment still breathes and is comfortable to wear. And then a third technology that we're really proud of is called tough cotton technology. And this finish imparts an extra level of durability to your woven and knitted fabrics and extends the usable life of those garments. This tough but soft technology contributes to the sustainability story of cotton as it helps keep your clothes and helps in your closet longer. So extends the usable life of the garment. And these are just a few of the technologies developed in our labs that you can find in stores near you. And in addition to working on chemical finishes, we are also able to evaluate through the generosity of our producers, new technologies that are really good for cotton. And I'd like to highlight a couple of those for you. Mike. So what you're seeing now is laser technology. And this was first applied to cotton textiles in the 1990s to remove the surface dye from indigo denim. We're fortunate to have this in our labs and use it to create numerous design effects on a variety of cotton fabrics, not just denim. Pile fabrics, denim, knits are all able to be laser engraved and changing the surface characteristic of the fabric. Lasers are sustainable because they eliminate the need for workers to physically stand there sanding and scraping denim jeans to impart a worn look. Lasers replace polluting technologies such as sandblasting and potassium permanganate spray. And the laser's capable of creating those designs in a safe and uniform manner in a fraction of the time. So if you're ever able to come visit our facility, we'd be happy to demonstrate this technology for you. Next. Now, we also explore new markets and outside of apparel and home. And here you're seeing 3D printing, otherwise known as additive manufacturing. And this is a real growing area. Several years ago, we began working with universities and other research organizations trying to displace some of the petroleum-based polymers used in 3D printing and injection molding with cotton fiber. The fiber adds strength, it improves the color and the biodegradability of the object. In some cases, depending on what the cotton is combined with, such as PLA, it really does enable the fabric to be industrially composted. You just saw a video of our 3D printer. In the center, the makeup brushes are made with cotton and polypropylene through injection molding. And the BOGO toothbrush is made with cotton and PLA, again, another industrially composting material. And this is sold by CVS. So we've got a lot of opportunity here to move cotton into new markets. Next. We also invest in outside research, collaborating with universities and research organizations around the globe. Each year we send out a request for proposals, and some areas we plan to study include bio-based chemistry, artificial leather, flexible bio-based films, and composites. And all of these are based on either cottonseed oil or cotton fiber. Next. And once our research developments are tested in-house, we're ready to scale up to production. This is where our technology implementation team takes over. Interacting with mill and brand partners, technology implementation focuses on the transition of our technologies from lab to production, working out issues that may arise during scale up and ensuring that our mill partners are instructed on how to run these technologies. Technology implementation supports mills through calls and visits, and will submit production samples for testing to ensure technology is performing as it should. They analyze the data and they work out the issues with our partners when needed. And as Mike said, our implementation team is ready to support mills that use cotton to help them solve technical issues that arise. They don't have to be related to our technologies, all the way from the yarn to the finished fabric. The experts in product development and implementation are always available and ready to assist. Next. So that concludes our brief presentation about all the wonderful things that we do in product development and implementation. And we'd love to address any questions that you may have for us.